Peace and love, peace and love. This is Sister Nzinga from Flowing and Growing with Sister Nzinga. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. I'd like to thank everyone who has been listening and liking, sharing, subscribing. And I give thanks for all those that are stopping by to listen to my videos. Don't forget that we are the spot. If you're looking to emancipate yourself from mental slavery, this is the place. I'm sharing my wisdom to be able to uplift and empower one another. Of course, I said I don't know it all, but what I do know, I'm willing to share. So we're working on self. That's what it is. And everybody's on different levels, and everybody has their own responsibility for themselves. If you look at us as a people, there are many issues that we have to deal with because we've been going through this trauma for a very long time. And I say trauma, and I really mean it, because this is trauma that has been put on us as a people. And we are all in dealing with our trauma differently. Some of us are ignoring it. Some of us don't realize that we're having some type of mental issues or mental breakdowns. Some of us are just are really trying to work on it and trying to relieve ourselves of this pressure that the trauma is bringing. So, but each individual is responsible for themselves, because what we have to do is we have to choose. We have to choose what it is that we really want for ourselves. Okay, when it comes to living in this world, sometimes I say that I live in this world, but I'm not of this world. And let me explain that to you. I know that this society that gives you suggestions, but they're hard suggestions because they bombard you with media, they bombard you with fear, and they bombard you with lies to the point that you just sometimes you can't. When you hear the truth, it's just the furthest from what the reality is. You just really just don't want to believe it. So what each of us must do is be responsible for ourselves, and we have to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Because they have an idea about how we're supposed to live, where we're supposed to eat, where we're supposed to, do all kind of things. This idea, this quote unquote, and I won't even say this is the American dream, because the American dream is they got that for the people who have a lot of this little green paper that they call money, and thinking that they got power, but that's not what the real power is. So, and knowing what the real power is, you take that and you use it to your best ability to create your own life and to be able to uplift yourself and empower others and share. So we are responsible for ourselves, ultimately. But we still are responsible because it takes a village to raise children. It takes the family unit to kind of build certain enterprises, ideas, and things like that. So I don't want to say that like in a selfish way, but I'm just saying that I'm responsible for my actions. I'm responsible for my choices. And once I make those choices, then I have to be responsible for the choice that I make. And that's the difference in just being all willy-nilly, just doing anything, versus you having a purpose in the choices that you make. And you have to be specific. And the best thing to do is to be consistent. Don't at one time be about, okay, I'm going to do this here, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. And the next thing you know, here you are, like, just falling in line like everybody else. And that's really, we don't want to fall in line. That's why we need to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. When it comes to holidays, what holiday is coming up now? Holiday is, I guess the next holiday is coming up is probably Juneteenth. But so Juneteenth is in June, and that's the day that they said that they had emancipated us from slavery. That the South, we were already free, but the news hadn't got down to the South yet. And so when the South found out that we was free, they had to relieve all the slaves, and then it was something that we had to celebrate, and so we celebrate that. But if we really deep down into celebrating that and honoring that relief, then why do we just follow right after that and celebrate 4th of July? So these holidays are made up. And like I said, I don't mean to offend, but these holidays are made up. They're man-made. The calendar is man-made. And, of course, that's a whole other conversation, because the calendar that we really are using is really not the correct calendar either. So it's so much. But the point I'm trying to make is that, we have to be responsible for ourselves and helping to free ourselves. And it's a hard, courageous thing to do because you have to make choices. Sometimes it's like everybody wants you to just kind of fit in with, what's going on. And when you don't fit in, you're like the eyeball out. And, some people can't handle being an eyeball out. They can't handle that. But if you are true to yourself and what you know, then you should be okay being an eyeball out. So, like I said, this is not an easy job, but it's easy to do, but it just takes courage. It just takes courage that you no longer follow the program. I mean, because they tell you everything they do. They told us, first we got to stop beating our children because they're going to send us to jail because if we discipline our children like that. But of course, I'm not talking about beating your children, but I think children definitely need discipline because if you don't give your children discipline, then they'll be out of control and try to run your household. And because the way they teach you in the way they were taught in these schools, then you have to discipline your children. Because even the schools allow children to cuss sometimes, because the teacher doesn't want to deal with the particular student or the actions of their child. They allow them to slip up and say cuss words and stuff. And the behaviors at the schools is just crazy, And I always say that the schools are just a place where you can learn, but you sure can't earn. You can't really do anything to help develop yourself. There's no life skills. And parents are not teaching life skills nowadays, because people don't know how to sweep the sidewalks. People don't know how to, to clean when it comes to cleaning a house. You don't know that when you every now and then you have to go and clean out your closets. You have to take all the food out the refrigerator and on a regular basis. You have to wipe out the refrigerator, keep the refrigerator clean. Or, you have to have, like your cabinets in where you put your food at, your glasses and stuff like that. Periodically, those things have to be cleaned. But I don't think that the younger generation is wise to this type of knowledge and knowing that that you have to do this type of thing. But they're following along and doing that kind of stuff. But they're not passing on the wisdom that we have been as far as being responsible and being able to take care of yourself. So this is so much to talk about. And I think this month it says that they say, here we go with this, what they say, that April showers bring May flowers. So what's going to be coming up pretty soon? What's coming up the way. Summertime is getting ready to come. People doing graduations, and boy, speaking of graduations, did you see some of the prom dresses that these young people are wearing? They look like they're going to to the runway of I don't know, but it's too much. Definitely I think the young kids should get dressed up and look very ladylike, and the gentlemen should put on a suit and tie or even a dress jacket and some slacks. But the way that they're all going out with these gowns and it's too much, and then revealing themselves, all the top part is open, no shoulders, and then oh my gosh, I saw this one young lady. She had the back of her gown was like a netted thing, and so you could see her behind. Like really for a prom, I might say, well, they need to not let her ass up in there, her and her ass, because she was surely showing it. It was the back of her gown was sheer, so it looked like that she had a thong, kind of thing on. So from her waist down in the back of her gown, it was sheer, and you could see right straight through it, and it appeared that she had like a thong type of thing on the back of her gown. You saw some of the fabric. Woo! I'm telling you, we are out of control. We are really out of control. And we have so much power within us. We have so many gifts within us, but we're not nurturing those gifts, and we're not using the power. Today I was working in the yard, and for me, I enjoy working in the yard. I don't mind pulling them weeds with my hands and picking up the loose weeds and putting it in the trash can. I don't mind any of that. But I have some flowers that are blooming, and a while ago it was really a beautiful lesson to me and helping me with my evolution of knowledge of self, is that when I dealt with the flowers, and when the particular flower that I just bloomed this morning was an iris, and it opened up and it's purple and yellow, and then on the inside it had these look like little feathery type of a things on the inside, and then there's another set of three blooms that go inside that. And so these type of things let me know that these are creations from the Most High. And when He created those flowers with everything that they need, they know that this part's supposed to be purple, this other part's supposed to be yellow, this other part's supposed to be red. It knows all that when it comes through the ground. It knows all that. It comes through the ground, gives the green leaves and so forth, and then you come and you got this bud, and then that bud will open up, and then, oh my gosh, and it's just like, wow. So you know what? I mentioned this to somebody, and they told me that, we're all blooming. That was the comment I meant to bring on. That we are all blooming. And so we have to find the richness inside of us to be able to use these things, so when we do bloom, that we really bring out the beauty, the essence of our true identities as far as who we are. So we're all blooming. So let's continue to work on us blooming in knowledge of self. We cannot continue to follow by somebody else's ideals when they tell you that now that this you need to be wearing this color, or this style eyeglasses, or this is the new shoe. And now even with gowns, that they tell me what they wear. No, they don't wear high heels with gowns no more. They wear sneakers. Whose idea is that? Whose idea is that? And why do you have to follow it? Why do you have to follow it? Why do you have to follow any ideas? And this is kind of personal, but I'm going to tell you this too. Even when it comes to females, they tell us that now, when it comes to our, I know I maybe shouldn't be saying this, but this is so real because this is another great example of what they're telling us to do, what we need to do for ourselves. But they're telling us how to shave ourselves as women. Well, okay, we've been taking care of ourselves for I don't know how long. I mean, I'm 60-something years old, but now the new style is that you have to shave yourself this way, and it's supposed to look like this. And really? Even a long time ago, they told us, our black men used to like us having hair on our legs. It says, no, you got to shave your legs. And that was only because white women didn't have hair on their legs like we did. They weren't pretty like that. And they make us think that we're supposed to shave ours now. So now we're less attractive to our men, to our men. These ideas that they're telling you, but now you need to do this. And then the things with the eyebrows, sisters. And I'm not saying, because I think that we're just naturally beautiful, my opinion. And I think it's a fact, because if you look at us, we're just naturally beautiful people. But, I mean, why does everybody's eyebrows have to look the same? With this shape that they say, and wear it this way now. No, we don't have to do that. And so, again, you can be yourself. You do not have to follow behind anybody else's idea. It's okay that you are different from the masses. It's really okay that you are different. So, there's so many things I could be talking about, but y'all, I'm just saying, please take the time to exercise your freedoms and making choices for yourself as far as what is good for you. As far as what is good for you. This emancipation is really a slow process because, we're all still tied to it in some kind of way, but on different levels. Some of us are just like, okay, ain't doing nothing. Like the certain people, I don't want to comb my hair. I like my hair in locks. And I'm not going to change that because the new style is this or that and the other. I'm never going to change that. I'm never going to change that. And so, sometimes I'd be lost for words because I'd just be so frustrated, and I'd be trying not to. I won't say that I get frustrated, but I try. The thoughts come on about the insanity about the way the world is going and how people are just kind of go along. And then we have people who say that they're this, that, because we all these titles. I'm a Muslim. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a this. I'm a that. These are man-made titles. These are man-made titles, and these are things to separate us. And why do I have to identify? What my eating habits are? Why? I can just go buy my food, eat what I want to eat. But why do I have to advertise it? Why do I have to, advertise, if you meditate? I meditate 3 times a day. I meditate for this amount of hours. Everything is a show that you have to put on. It's a front. You go to a restaurant, you have to take a picture of your food. So you got to show everybody, this is what I'm eating. I don't understand that we're really on this show of it's a cartoon sometimes. I think it comes up to be a cartoon because we are funny, because we are supposed to be being unique and being our own selves, but we just kind of just fall in line with other people, you know. So just kind of continue to love yourself. Self-care is what I talked about for the most part of last month. And I want you to continue, I want you to continue to do that. I talked about some particular things here. I talked about the transition, I talked about tradition, transition, and transformation. So I just want to always keep saying that this is something easy that you could do with that. Tradition is what you do on a regular basis. Transition is when you start making the change, which you all need to do. We're going to take hold of information and we're going to implement it. So that's making a transition. And then you make a transformation and you're no longer doing your old things. You're doing new things now. You know, because it's really just no simpler as once you do become a little bit more knowledgeable of yourself, that you get to the point and then you say seek, or knock on the door, and it shall be brought to you. Excuse me. So it's the same thing. It's you going through different things to get to a certain place. And so if we continue to do the work for self, then we'll be able to have the things that we need. So what about the easy thing is, just ask, believe, and receive. Ask, believe, and receive. It's best to write it down sometimes. It's best to put it on a note in your on your mirror or something like that in the morning, so you can continue to remind yourself, or you can put a reminder on your phone about something that you want to achieve, to keep telling yourself that this is what you want to do. But there's so many ways out there for you to be able to solve these problems that the world has brought onto us, and be okay with the fact that, okay, now if I do this, now I'm different from everybody else. Well, you know one thing? That's a blessing that you know that, because it is true. We each are different from each other. Everybody has a different thumbprint. And with that thumbprint being different, then that makes us each individuals. So, I'm going to continue to build on just stuff, just bringing it out, just like, just in the face kind of a things for all this month. And so continue to emancipate yourself from mental slavery, because none but ourselves can free our minds. So guys, thank you for liking, thank you for the support, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing. But we're going to continue on this journey, because it's a good journey. Because in the end, once you the more that you start realizing, oh wow, it's a happy thing. It's a happy time. It's a happy time in your life when you realize, oh wow, you're gonna start to feel good about yourself. You're gonna start making changes. You're gonna start making different decisions. And so, but it is a process. So be patient with yourself. Just love up on yourself sometimes. Don't worry about what other people think. You don't have to perform for anybody. Just be your own damn self, or your own black self. So what they say, people, what you got to do, you got to do nothing but stay black and die. So I'm just going to end for now, because I could just go on, and I'm trying not to make the videos too long, because I want to be able to gather your attention and let you think about just a few things at a time. So continue to be strong, make good choices, love yourself, love others. Loving kindness is so important. Loving kindness. So I want to sign off now. Again, thank you everybody for listening, liking, subscribing, sharing, and I'll see you again soon. Be blessed. God loves you, and so do I.